no question, a lot of new students coming in, a definite steady flow of new students, yes.
That's great. Do we have other stories of Old Town businesses that are doing well right now? I know Andy's had his hands more than full.
Chris is the welcoming committee for all of the training boats. Chris likes to sit on the back of his boat and watch sunset, and he's always waving to the new Freedom Boat Club members.
Just want to make them feel welcome. Max, I just know that the bike shop, I was in there, and Gordon says he's doing just incredible. People are really interested in getting into biking right now, and he's actually modified his hours because he's so busy that he's actually so busy he's actually open less, if that makes sense. But he just said it's just got too much work.
That's great. Yeah, I ran into Burl Stromberg and his family were all on new bikes from the bike shop downtown, and he was saying that they can't keep up.
I heard that's a national thing. Like, I think that bike sales are up like 1,000% for everyone.
Yeah, bikes and boats. I just bought 3 boats from dealers because I cannot get boats from the Brunswick Boat Group factories because they have no more boats. They said that they're currently taking orders now for shipment in September, and my season ends in September, so that doesn't do me any good. So I went out and bought 3 new boats, and Chris will notice that we had to move Bree's boat down a slip. I still don't have enough slip space over Headwater Yacht now.
Dang.
It's crazy. We signed up 32 members in May. We figured 12. In June, we signed up 4 people just yesterday. It's the amount of work that we have to do is just crazy. I got 8 boats yet to bottom paint yet. We haven't even gotten to them yet.
Well, that's great news, and especially because that's bringing people to Old Town. They're going to keep coming back to use their.
I also have one business that is looking to move from Norfolk East Beach to Tidewater Yacht Marina in the maintenance facility building, which they have not been able to rent in, I don't know, 10 years. So somebody's looking to move their business from Norfolk to Portsmouth because I keep pushing how great it's not just me, but how great we are here in Portsmouth. So,
hey Andy, what's the zoning change they've got proposed down there?
They've got to get the fuel tanks are sinking, so they've got to pull all that out and then put new tanks in, and then they have to put leak detectors on everything. So the EPA's gotten involved.
Well, why would that be a zoning issue?
Because they have to put above ground tanks in, and it's a zoning deal.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've got enough folks here to call the meeting to order. But Audrey, do you know if Nettie's going to be joining us this morning? Not sure. But we have Leona with us, which she's usually only graces her presence to our board meetings. But glad we get to have you with us this morning, Leona.
I know, because it happens, because it always happens on my day off at dark 30 in the morning. So sometimes it's difficult for me. And then after this, I have another Zoom meeting. So I was up anyway. Plus, I probably think we're going to be discussing budget or something. So I thought as treasurer, somebody might want my input or that sort of thing. So I felt it important that I show up. So here I am in my morning hair. Okay. So here we go.
Right, so this meeting's officially called to order. We'll start off with roundtable introductions / my rapid alphabetization skills, and I should have thought about like scanning everybody's names before this. But anyway, Max Greenhead with Rocket Bike Digital Agency. Audrey.
Audrey, your director, who's got to learn how to get the unmute button faster.
And Andy.
Andy Sutter, Freedom Boat Club.
Right. And Billy Ricketts.
Hi, I'm Billy Ricketts. I'm one of the pastors at First Presbyterian Church on Court Street. We've been members for a good while and have just never participated, so I'm new and thought I'd stop in and say hi.
Welcome.
Great.
Thanks.
Glad to have you with us. All right, and I'm just gonna go down how I see it on my screen. Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Wren, Executive Director of the Portsmouth Partnership.
Casey.
Casey Greenhood, Rocket Bike Digital Agency.
And Chris Kushner.
Chris Kushner, Old Town Arts and Music.
All right, and Jim.
I'm Jim Alexander. I'm from Portsmouth and just want to know what's going on.
Great. Glad to have you with us. Tina.
Tina Knight, Retail Alliance. Good morning.
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 Tiffany.
Good morning. This is like you're just waiting for your turn since it's not alphabetical.
Yeah.
Tiffany from Effingham Street YMCA.
And Dr. Hempner.
Dr. Stephen Gunther, Old Town Family Chiropractic.
Keith.
Steve Toller, Parks, Recreation, and Tourism.
Kitty.
Kitty Bryant, and I'm Audrey's assistant.
And Liona.
Liana Borgia, I am the treasurer. Also from Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center Gallery Shop.
Celeste.
I'm Celeste Heath, and I'm the pastor at Monumental United Methodist Church.
Kathy.
Kathy Sawyer with Rudy's Catering.
And Alan. See if we can unmute her. Hey, Alice, can you hear us?
I think Alice has got that. Alice got that 56K modem.
We're getting the video, the voice isn't coming through that well. Well, Alice, glad to have you with us this morning. And Dr. Gentner has a beautiful young lady with him this morning. And it's not Dr. Erica. Can you introduce us?
This is Brenna. Say hi, Brenna. Or don't. That's cool.
Hi, Brenna.
Sweet.
Ah, she's cute.
Thank you.
Oh, good to see you. All right. First order of business, approval of consent items, monthly meeting minutes, and treasurer's and clerk's report.
Actually, we also have phone people. Gary Bahina and Jeannie McCoy are on.
Sorry, Gary. I had the phone, the non-video people hidden. Do we have anybody else on the phone?
I just joined in, Dr. Bobby Hansel Union with Hansel Union Consulting.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Anyone else on the phone? Okay, I think that's everyone. All right, approval of consent items. Do I have a motion to approve? Andy?
A motion to approve.
All right, so we've got
Or second.
a couple
I can
minutes.
second after Stephen. Fine.
Audrey's got her multitude of options. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you guys have it as usual. Low conflict passage. Committee reports, safety. We don't have anyone on the safety committee here with us this morning. I don't know if we have any major safety news worth sharing. All right, move on to events. Audrey, anything you want to share about events in Nettie's stead?
It's still up in the air. We have hopes, but we'll just wait and see. Hopefully, Museum Day will happen in September. I'll just leave it at that right now.
All right, great. Thank you. Yeah, so we're just keeping an eye on what's happening, and we're going to try to do as much as we can when we can, but until we know that it's safe and that people will come out for events, sort of Yeah, sitting on the
Mr. Toller may know more.
No.
I don't really know anymore. You do.
No, that makes sense. All right, well, thank you. Marketing.
No big news.
Yeah, it sounds we have more things to market. Arts and beautification.
Mr. Sutter, do you want to tell us what your group did?
We picked up about 100 piles of dog crap on High Street. It was awesome.
Well done, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
We spent about, I don't know, 3 of us spent about 20 minutes just hunched over picking up poop. So that was a lot of fun. And then I used to put them signs up. And then as people were walking by, I'd give them the stink eye.
Oh, good stink eye.
Stink eye.
And the signs were taken down within about 3 or 4 days.
Of course they were, because people want to let their dogs crap on High Street.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, exercise and futility are still exercise. There's a bright side. But thank you for at least cleaning up the dog poop and my shoes.
Anytime.
Membership.
I do have something to add. I was going to add about the dog poop real quick.
Yeah.
We've been having a problem behind the art gallery and the shop. Gail got with the city. There's actually an ordinance. So she's having the city make up proper signage to like be bolted to posts and that sort of thing behind the area. So for something, maybe Gail could put us in touch with whoever she talked to in the city to get the proper signage with it and have them properly, metal signs properly installed so that maybe people can't take them down. I mean, to pass it along, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I have one thing
I don't
to add.
know. It would well, the job. Okay, go ahead.
We're losing you, Lana. But yeah, was that Jim?
Sorry. We got some work going on outside.
Well, no problem.
I had.
But anyway, let me do some work on that and I'll send an email.
Okay, Lana, would you mind calling in so we can make sure to hear you, especially if we're have any discussion a little bit later about SBA loan?
Yeah, I'll get with Gail and whatever.
I was at the.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was at the Norfolk Botanical Garden yesterday, and sorry, it was Sunday, and they have allowed dogs to be in the botanical garden, which they never did before when I was working there. That was kind of they only did it on rare occasion where they'd have this dog walk, and evidently, getting back to the people buying more bicycles and more boats, people must be doing more activities with their animals as well. So might be something you guys want to embrace. It was unbelievable. It was a lot of people out with their dogs. I was really surprised. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and there's a lot of places in Old Town that have like the dog waste stations. I think the main thing is just to make sure people are cleaning up after their dogs, which is, I guess comes with that challenge. But if we had the groundskeeping budget that, of course, or the Norfolk Botanical Garden does, It would make our job a lot easier.
I think so.
I want goals.
Yeah, they didn't tell me about that budget.
But thank you. Yeah, it's agreed. It is important to make sure people can still come and enjoy walking with their dogs.
It's also a problem on the seawall.
Oh, yeah.
Well, moving on to membership.
We still have 74 members. We haven't added any new members at this time.
Great. Thank you. Moving on to new business. We just have
Can
one.
I'm sorry, Max, can I say something?
Yes.
The U-Haul I guess going up airline is owned by a single person, and she is very interested in joining. I don't have her card in front of me. I sent the email once before, but it's up on airline. It's in the city of Portsmouth, across from where they have the go-karts and everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
But she wants to join our committee.
Oh, well, that would be great.
So if somebody maybe from the membership committee can reach out. I did send her email like probably a few months ago. I don't know where it is now.
What's her name?
That's a good question. It's the owner, and that's all I can tell you.
All right.
It's an email and it's the owner. I'm sorry, I cannot recall that right now.
I'll go in there today with my face mask and bust a move.
Bust a move. Go for it.
Thank you, and thank you, Andy. All right, so new business item, SBA disaster relief loan. So early on, I applied for this on OTBA's behalf in case that we were able to get anything. And we were approved for $18,300. So this is a topic of discussion in our last board meeting because, on one hand, we do not want to take on any long-term obligations on behalf of the organization. On the other, with uncertainty the next year, we're not sure what's going to happen with our flea markets, which is our major source of income. So we looked at the budget for this fiscal year and what is like worst case scenario for loss of revenue from the flea market, and what could we cut from our expenses, and what would that budget shortfall be. The number came out to what, $18,400, which is just $100 more than the maximum loan amount that we received from SBA. So we adopted, or we voted as a board to accept the full loan amount. This is really just an insurance policy. If we face insolvency, we want to make sure that we have funds in place to use, and we don't have to scramble to get donations or from wherever else we could come with money to make sure that we're able to pay off our obligations. So the terms are 30 years at 2.75%, which is the cheapest capital that we could ever hope to get. And our goal is to keep that in its full amount and not use it unless absolutely necessary. But as soon as we have more financial certainty for the organization, we pay off that amount in full or as much as we can, but not use this to finance purchases or anything that would be riskier use of funds, but more as an insurance policy where interest is our insurance premium effectively. But any questions on that? Okay. Well, we'll keep everyone posted. Hopefully we don't need the funds. Worst case scenario, if we do need to slowly pay it back over time, the monthly payment is $80. Even though that's low, I don't want to look at it like that's an easy obligation, so we should spend all the money. But fortunate that we have that. Where a lot of organizations don't have the luxury of having any sort of cushion.
So if I could make a quick comment on the wise decision making of our board members. So one of the other things that I do is I teach people how to get out of all sorts of crazy debt, from student loans and everything else. And that was a really good way to go about it. So just some props there for that real quick.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But all right, well, there's no other thoughts or questions. I'll move on to unfinished business. We do not have any items. President's report. I'll just briefly share a few thoughts. So a lot has happened in the last month since we met in the wake of the death of George Floyd. Luckily, Portsmouth hasn't seen protests get out of hand. There have been in other cities. But there have been some small protests. We saw one last week that we emailed everyone about, the Confederate Monument, which just a traffic concern. And this last Sunday night, there was I think a great unity event down at the Love Statue, hosted by Shannon Glover. That was a lot of just really positive sentiment and people coming together to pretty much just show that we as a community care about each other and want to lift one another up and find peaceful resolution for this. And I think Chief Green has done a great job and sort of playing a leadership role and being able to be in a position of a leader of our law enforcement, but also as a Black American. I think we're really fortunate to have her in general in our community, but especially at this time. And I think she's really stepped up and done a great job. So this is an important, I think, moment in U.S. history. These things don't happen very often, and it's one for Portsmouth as well. I think this is probably not the last that we're going to hear of it, but hopefully it continues to be positive and we're not going to see any issues. But in other uplifting news, the Bangkok Garden Noodle House is opening. I think they were slated to open with phase 2. So have they opened officially? Do we know? I know they were planning to with phase 2, but that was just Friday.
Max, that's my landlord. I believe I think it's a soft opening for July 1st.
Okay.
Is what I heard most recently, but I could be wrong.
Okay, great. That makes sense. Yeah, I know it was sort of up in the air, but anyway, that's coming up soon, so that's exciting. And we talked earlier about some of the other growth in Old Town businesses that we've seen. Hopefully, that's gonna be the same with restaurants soon enough. I have talked to some restaurant owners that have seen still pretty steady revenue, or at least the same or better profitability with doing more takeout. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a struggle for a lot of restaurants to maintain margins that they need to make rent and all the other fixed obligations, but they've luckily done well enough. So happy to see that. So far, I haven't talked to anybody that's talking about they're not going to be able to make it through this. They're going to have to close. So hopefully that stays the case the next few months. And of course, Rocket Bike has been growing as well, and we've got 3 open positions. So if anybody knows anyone, they're listed on our team page. But I know I'm leaving out other good news. If anybody has that, please share. And that is a perfect segue into informational updates.
Max, I've got something. I've talked to Darius over at the restaurant. They want to do a oyster roast in September if we're able to. Hold on one second. My dogs are going to bark. Sorry about that. Another dog walked by. So we want to look at doing something in partnership with the Old Town Business Association. So I've talked to Darius. He wants to bring in the Old Town Business Association where we can set up and we can sell our cups and shirts and stuff like that. And then he asked me if I knew anybody that was on the Old Town Business Association board. And I was like, well, I might know somebody. So we want to do something where we're going to charge $50 a ticket. We'll be able to set up our stuff and then we can kind of work it and then do maybe a little profit share or something like that. Don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but it's something that came up and I wanted to say it at the board meeting, but I was too busy to attend. So that's what I got. That's all I got.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, keep us posted. Any other informational updates? Yes, Tina.
I just wanted to share, I'm not sure if everybody watched the news on Friday on Wavy TV, but they spotlighted our survey from Retail Alliance about how businesses are doing. And they did showcase Commodore Theater, which was really nice to give them a little bit of time on air. So I can put up the link for those of you that missed it. So we're just trying to give some of the local businesses a little bit of airtime if we can, in any way we can. And also, if anybody needs any masks, we still have free masks. We've given over 18,000 to about 1,200 businesses. You don't have to be a member, but just let me know, and I'll either deliver. I went to Portsmouth, I think it's been almost 2 weeks now, and delivered it to about 20 businesses on High Street. So I would like to give them to the retailers and restaurants that are opening up, especially now in phase 2. So let me know. And if you guys have any questions about anything that's going on with the PPP, I know Trump just signed that yesterday for the flexibility. So yeah, just let me know. And I'm gonna go ahead in the chat room, put the link for that Wavy TV, so you guys can take a look at it. It's actually kind of nice.
Great, thank you.
Max, this is Gary.
I
have a question. Can we tentatively schedule the next meeting to be an in-person meeting? Because we're at the point now where we could have a social group of 50 or less people.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's one we'll probably discuss at our next board meeting.
Oh, let's do it now. Let's do it. I want to hug people.
Well, no, there's still the social distancing guidelines and the need to wear a mask indoors. And depending on how many people we have, it's hard to keep people more than elbow to elbow. But I'll say I haven't talked to the rest of the board or partnership about that, because I know our last partnership board meeting was remote as well. But I guess, Michelle, what if we as a partnership sort of thinking with that?
Yeah, we're going to discuss it at our next exec meeting too, as to what we're doing. But as far as the room use, that is up to individuals. Like we don't have any restrictions right now. Like if people are comfortable and they feel like that they can, meet and they're comfortable with that, we're letting people make their own decisions.
Okay, great, thank you.
So,
Yeah, 'cause I'm sitting here looking at Northam's guidelines, and we're up to 50 people, and it'd be nice to stop doing this kind of with phones and internet connections that don't work.
Yeah, well, yes, agreed. So we'll discuss that and reach out to everybody to let you know. I wouldn't want to say right here without having talked to the rest of the board. But I think
if we do it, we still need to provide the ability for people who are not comfortable seeing other people to phone in. Yeah. But I think, for those of us I see Chris all the time. I haven't gotten anything from him. I don't think he's gotten anything from me. I hope. So, I think for people who are comfortable on a face-to-face basis, it might be time to just restart doing that.
Yes, I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. We'll discuss with the rest of the board. But I think to your point, we should still have some way for others to join in remotely. So that's one consideration as well for how we'll do this. If we've got a video camera set up in there or having conference phones. So there are some other considerations, but yeah, I think it is definitely by the time it'll be nice to be in the same room.
But I don't think rooms are supposed to be past 50% capacity. And that would definitely put us past the 50% capacity for that space that we usually meet in.
Actually, that's not the case. There's establishments that have a 50% capacity. So I'm looking here at the order. Restaurants and beverage establishments are at 50%. Fitness centers are at 30%. But for a social gathering, it's just 50 people. So,
which makes no sense. And so we'll bring it up to the board, like Max stated.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's definitely something that we'll want to talk about. Any other informational updates?
Just real quick, next week in our office, we're calling it Homecoming Week. We still have about 25 people who are choosing to not keep up with their health care. So we're making it really easy for anyone who has either not been in a while or never been in before. to come back and make sure that we're assessing and keeping them at their absolute healthiest. So if you're someone who has not been in a while, we're doing the entirety of any updated exams, x-rays, all of it. I'm gifting it. And if you have never been before, we're doing it for half price, and we're donating all that to one of our local food banks. So if anybody wants to jump in on that, that's next week. Specifically, the half price donation day is Wednesday the 17th. It looks like Andy's in.
Great, thank you.
Max, I've got an update.
Yeah.
The city released yesterday their reopening plan, and it looks like the visitor center will not be reopening until about August. That could change, that could fluctuate. It's a 3-phase plan, so I haven't really read through it in detail yet, but it's so hopefully the visitor center will be open then. The reenactors, Mary Beal and the Colonials, will hopefully be back on the street at the end of June. They're looking at the last week of June to test the waters and see how that works. And reached out yesterday to a boat club in Richmond. They're going to be bringing about 35 or 40 boats down here on August the 8th, staying the whole weekend.
That's great. Do you know when City Hall's, what the plans are there?
It's in that plan. Like I said, I can't print it out at home, so I can only read so much of it on the phone. But I'm going to go to the office and print it out. City Hall will open like for the first floor, voter registrations and that kind of thing. I think sometime at the end of June, maybe 1st of July, and it won't be an everyday thing.
Okay.
And Nancy Perry says that the museums will be opening in August on some basis.
Yes.
That's right. Does that include Children's Museum? I know there was some consideration differently about Children's Museum given the high touch sort of environment.
That's one of the issues that they're working on. Is the other museums are easy. It's Children's Museum that's the problem because of all the high touch and the need to clean. And they were when she emailed me last week, they were working on their plan for all the museums.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Possibly important to that, to get on the CDC and WHO websites and find the different research articles that have come out over the last couple of weeks about how it is now believed that the coronavirus is not actually spread on surfaces. So I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing everything to keep things clean, but the most recent research coming out about it is does not actually spread on surfaces itself.
Keith, do you need a hand with boat slips or anything at the marina for that thing on August 8th?
No, they've got it all. They booked it themselves. This group came in last year from Richmond.
I'll just be quiet then.
Yeah, Tiffany?
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to give you a couple updates about the Y. Our specific facility is not slated to open up as a fitness facility, but we are starting summer camp on Monday. So as you guys said about everything else, there's lots of rules. Kids have to be 6 feet apart, have to have their own set of markers. The room sizes are much smaller than they've been for licensing. But in case you know any families that are looking for childcare, we are offering it. And if you don't know Miss T, the youth director there, she's fantastic. I couldn't say enough things. She's probably the top youth director in our association, honestly. And so we are going to be providing that service. We hope to open as a fitness center, within a couple weeks, but we're just not one of the stage 1 Ys, which honestly it's kind of a blessing because I'll let everybody else figure out how we're going to do 30% and keep people 10 feet apart, because for fitness they have to be 10 feet apart when they're working out. So we'll let somebody else figure that part out first. But yeah, we're looking forward to having summer camp starting. We're going to be use a food place called Cover 3. They provide lunches for free for our youth. So in case you guys know anybody that needs help, wants to come to camp, if they can't afford it, we do go through Department of Social Services, and we also have our scholarship program, which is called Open Doors. So they can reach out to me and I'll get them squared away.
Great, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Any other informational updates? All right.
Max.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I wanted to just, I think I figured out who the U-Haul owner was, Andy. I'm going to set a group chat up with you and Jamaica is the mom of one of my students, and I'll Dr. Bobby, I'll put you on that same chat in a minute. And second, I just wanted to say, last Friday we had our first Friday event virtually, where of course we don't have the Conscious in the Courtyard, but we had Aaron Fulcher and AA Batteries and Lori Creek, and it was on the First Friday Facebook page. It was also on my shop's Facebook page. We had about close to 1,000 views. If anyone's looking for it, they could find it. I could send I'll send a link for that in the chat.
That's great.
I think we ought to be considered, you know, in the event section. We were saying we can't do any events. I think we need to look at options of how we can still do events virtually and create just to have a voice that says we're still here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe something we brought up at the next events committee meeting.
First Friday is happening virtually, right, Michelle?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was gonna say thank you for Chris for setting that up. So I don't know if you want to do it again, Chris, for July, that would be fantastic. So, and then it looks like, and then I guess we'll see with August and September. Nancy's thinking that means no concerts with the way we're moving forward, but I don't know. If we're in phase 4 in August 1st, I'm not sure why we can't do a First Fridays, but I guess we'll have to see.
Okay, great.
Some
And
thought we had at the partnership too is if we weren't allowed to do it at the city, is to actually move it onto private property where we can do it. So we're kind of playing with that idea just to see, but we have to figure out the phasing and where we are.
makes sense. Well, if I could put you on the spot one more time, Michelle, do you want to share anything about the co-working space?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting. Sorry about my screen. I don't have a great view for whatever reason, but yeah, no, I know Max announced a little bit last month, but the partnership is still moving forward with our co-working workforce development space, the corner of Effingham and High. Really excited about it. So we have just hired a grant writer. We've hired Rocket Bike to do all of the branding and marketing. So excited to move forward and looking forward to getting to the space and opening it. So, too bad we're not in there now because the conference room is actually bigger. So that would have been nice for social distancing, more space in there. But we are trying to push back the opening date to September 1st, just from, again, all the things that are happening with the pandemic. It's kind of slowed us down just a little bit. So
what building is that?
It's the Montgomery Square. So we're doing 2 phases. So the first phase is there's offices already established. So we're going to go into there while we're building out the second phase, which is on the corner. And that's just an empty building. I mean, it doesn't have a bathroom in it yet. It's got nothing. So really excited to build out that corner. I think it's really going to transform that corner from Effingham down and create a nice synergy in that corner, which I think will really help Old Town.
Yeah.
And the surrounding area.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I think that's sort of anchor asset that we need to get more people here with professional businesses and just bringing more people that are working downtown. I think for more real estate development and bringing in more entertainment, dining, having more people that are commuting into Old Town is going to be a boon to all our other businesses. So I think this is a really important first step. And I'm excited for OTBA that we'll have, a shiny new conference room that we'll be able to meet in, and not unrelated, that it's only like half a block away from me. So that'll be nice to get to walk. Sorry for folks that are walking now. But it's going to be a great project, especially phase 2 is going to be pretty cool. It's a total new build out. And that's like exposed brick type industrial, exactly what people think of and look for a co-working space.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, just a downtown, like an urban co-working space. So I think it'll have a lot of charm to it with that Old Town brings, but also kind of like Max said, that real modern industrial look too. But, you know, I think it's more important now than ever that we're doing this because, you know, as our city, our state and nation have been hit with pandemic, everybody needs to rethink business, or a lot of people need to rethink business. So to give them a place to land that's inexpensive to grow a business, I think it's going to be really vital for Portsmouth and to be able to grow Portsmouth.
Probably a good choice in a marketing company too. Good choice.
Thank you.
Definitely. So yeah, we're excited. We're very excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Right. Any other? Yeah, Casey.
This is half an informational update, half research, but I realize it's probably relevant to share. So Keith and I obviously have been keeping up with just what the travel research says and how perceptions have shifted given everything. And I think the instinctual thought is nobody's traveling now, but really what we're seeing is a lot of people are canceling like flights and they're just opting for drive distance travel. Not everybody's going, of course, but it's a large percent of people that are just planning. Honestly, they're itching to get out of the house. So that poses a really great opportunity for Portsmouth as a small town that's not concentrated with tons of people on top of each other like the oceanfront. So I think that's a good signal for us as a smaller community. And we'll be trying to capitalize on that messaging wherever we can to bring people here to stay and dine and such.
Casey, have you got any updates on the numbers you can share?
Yeah, so we just started some campaigns. They're advertising on Facebook. There's some advertising on TripAdvisor's website, and there's some advertising on the state website, virginia.org. So we just started advertising last week, but it's doing really, really well so far. So the whole gist of the campaign is it's a small town getaway. There's a landing page that tells that narrative of all the things that you can do here that still maintain distance, outdoor dining, blah, blah, blah. So overall, we have about 1,000 visits to the website and about 70,000 impressions. And we're targeting people all over Virginia within 3 to 4 hour drive distance. And we're seeing equal excitement from Northern Virginia, Richmond, and Hampton Roads, because there is a great narrative for Hampton Roads, just like a day trip and all the things that you can do. So yeah, so about 1,000 visitors so far, and they're all very engaged and they're sharing and commenting with their friends. So good signals.
I feel like that's a good sign that we're getting positive results from Richmond, because usually advertising to people in Richmond, they're the hardest.
Yeah, well, I think people in concentrated metro areas, especially right now, are like, let me get out and have some space, because there is a lot of tumult happening in concentrated areas.
I don't know if anybody was paying attention or outside yesterday, but there were a bunch of planes entering and leaving Norfolk International Airport, and my buddy's a pilot for United. They're adding 1,100 flight hours to his regional airline for the remainder of this month. And my son is the base ops manager for American Airlines for Piedmont in Salisbury, Maryland. And they are going to be up 35% in flights for the remainder of the month. So I think things are starting, they're going to have to wear masks, but they are running more aircraft.
That's great. And every time I run or walk by the Renaissance, the patio seems pretty full. They have their umbrellas out now, so that's great.
They're running right at about 80% occupancy right now because of the naval hospital crew that's staying there. They're taking up almost all the rooms. And then there's I walked by the Comfort Inn today, Comfort Inn, Equality Inn, and they were parking lot was pretty full this morning.
That's great.
That's great. So things are looking up. Great. Any other informational updates? All right. Well, if there's no further business, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Good seeing
you.
And hopefully we'll be in person next month, but yeah, we'll keep you all posted.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Everybody stay safe.